Hey guys, it's Will here. Thought I would go through the markets, and some stocks that have done well yesterday. So yesterday we had or a couple of days ago we had a Senate run in Georgia, and I guess the concern was if Democrats win, that there'd be higher taxes and they'd have control, and if the Republicans win, there'd be more of a moderating effect on the passing of stuff that might be detrimental to, like, the markets in particular. But when it started to look like Democrats were going to win at least one seat, certain things went up quite a bit yesterday and today as well. So there's different ways to figure that out, but one of my watch lists I have called sector ETFs is a list of various ETFs that represent sectors in the market. So instead of, or even like sub industries, because just looking at the indices themselves, it's a bit too generic, too widespread. It doesn't address the specific industries that are doing well. So anyway, I'll get into that. But first, let's just go through the market. So when I look at the market in terms of the charts, it's been pretty flat, but it's still, we broke up past this little flat spot resistance here. We're poking up above it, and we're above these moving averages for the Dow. S&P looks similar. The NASDAQ was the worst of them, with this big down candle here, which is a negative sign of a reversal, like a bearish engulfing candle here. But a couple of days of you can see this candle here went up and then it got pushed right back down at the end yesterday. So there's some tech sell-off, what I consider sector rotation at this point. I'll get into that, but it's still above this 21 EMA. It's broken below the 8 EMA. So not horrible right now. It's still holding up. And then the one that was really doing well was the IWM, which is the Russell 2000. It's a small cap stuff. And that's where a lot of the stocks that I'll be talking about, are from. That one's heading up as well. So when I look at the sectors, there's different ways to look at kind of the macro, like what's happening in terms of individual industries. And one way is to look at sectors. So I've got a whole bunch in a variety of areas. So YOLO is a cannabis ETF. You can see it's up 10% again today. It was up more than that earlier, but it's starting to go parabolic. It's got these gap ups here. But cannabis, so with the idea that Democrats are going to obviously be, president, and then now potentially controlling the Senate, which will prevent, certain things from maybe not being passed. You've got clean energy, so that's solar, vehicles. Hail is a smart mobility, so it's got a lot of, vehicles in it. One of the nice things with TC2000 is, I've mentioned before, you can open up this related items and see, and then if you sort by, say, percent change, you can see what's in the ETF. So in the case of QClean, you have Plug, which is a really, this one's doing great. Fuel Cell, Bloom Energy, DQ, which is like a kind of a semiconductor. These ones have done really well. There's solar in here. There's also lithium. So you can buy individual stocks from the ETF as well. But the ETFs kind of give you, either you can buy them or you can look at them as what sectors or areas are doing really well, to get more focused in. So what happened was, with the Democrat thing, there was cannabis, solar, EV type stuff. You also had banks, so that might be surprising to some people that regional and regular banks are doing well with Democrats. So this is IAT. Again, you can open up the fund and look and see what's in there. CivB was one I was looking at. And then you have, other than banks, you also have a little bit of COVID, like recovery aspects. So you have, like retail, like, so you have different ETFs. So I have like online ETF, which is a retail, like an online type of situation. And you see it's not doing as good. It's pulling back here. But the retail, like regular type of retail, which has been hurt pretty bad. I'm still a little bit nervous about those because, obviously with other strains and lockdowns and stuff. But, the other one for like with the Democrat situation is PAVE. So you can see even with the, Biden, this was been pretty flat, but all of a sudden the idea would be that they'd spend more money. And so you had a couple of days bounce here. So, and then you had, like I said, tech wasn't doing quite as well. So you also had gambling and stuff. So things that might get, like the betting and that, which is a COVID recovery, as well as some things need to be approved, like with DraftKings, like gambling, online sports betting and stuff. So I look at the sectors, get a sense, you have individual items like copper, not just, it's not like a bunch of different, it's different stocks, but it's just one thing like copper. But obviously that's been doing really well. You've got, semiconductors, which is starting to perk up again. Even though the tech isn't doing great, you can see here we have this peak above the recent resistance. We have the green V stops, sort of a move upwards. So that's kind of the things at the sector, the main things. We can see, obviously, Plug fuel cell. QS is QuantumScape. It's a solid state lithium battery. It did bounce off the 50 and come back up. SPE is another one, which is the charging ChargePoint, the charging Clean Spark. So these are all related to the EV stuff. You have Bitcoin's been going crazy. It's up again today. You can buy the actual Bitcoin, like a portion of it, or there's some trust. There's a GBTC Bitcoin Trust, and there's other stocks that have Bitcoin that I've talked about before that have aspects of Bitcoin. Even Square has it as well. So I have different, like the markets, I have different watch lists. So these are the markets. I look at the overall market. I look at the sectors to see what's going well. And then I have stocks that have been maybe in a pullback and are starting to poke up again. So Lee Auto, for example. So a lot of stocks might be like Plug, or not previous to today. It was in a decent situation near the T line, near the 8 EMA. But when you see this huge gap like this, you don't want to chase that. So you end up missing it. But there's other ones that in this list I have, which, started to recover, like CRISPR, it had a pullback. It's sort of sat at this 21 EMA and it's coming back. So some of these already jumped up pretty good, but steel, it was previously right here. And then you can see how quickly this thing pops. Crowd had a pullback and it's starting to perk up again. So if you see stocks that pulled back, but you're interested in them, you could put them in a watch list. So TC2000 has these watch lists. And the nice thing is when you put them in an area, you can have tabs. So I can have, because there's a lot of different watch lists I have. So, I can have in one little square, I have multiple tabs of different stock scenarios. Some might be stocks, some might be ETFs, and there's different scans and different watch list sources of stocks in each of these lists. So it's a really nice feature. And if you want to get a free trial or $25 off of a purchase, check out the link in the description below. I've got the gold plan and I've got real-time US data because I like to see, the changes in real time It only works, it's for the US, so I don't have Canada. I'm in Canada. I don't have real-time Canadian data on here, but so when I do stocks and that, I mostly buy American stocks. And also there's a pre-market. You can see I'm actually seeing the prices in pre-market, which is really nice. And I can buy stocks in the pre-market as well if I wanted to. So being able to see in real time what's happening, especially even in the pre-market, is really nice. So you can see Pack B, this is genomics. So even though ARC-G had a pullback, and you can see here, it's coming back again. Twist isn't doing quite as well, but you can see it's coming back from that initial pullback. So those are the biotechs as well. VFF is Village Farms, doing well today again. This is related to the cannabis, Grow WG, Grow Generation, having a good day again. So you can see when I draw this line, there's like a downtrend or a pullback. And once it breaks through there, you tend to have a nice uptrend here. Energy is doing pretty well. RIG is a small cap, is a penny stock, but there's other ones like Occidental. You can see they're starting to poke out as well. I'm not sure what's going to happen, obviously, with the Democrats in terms of energy, with oil and gas, but it has been beaten down pretty good from the pandemic, and oil is now over $50 a barrel, so it could be seeing a resurgence. And then Alcoa, so some of the materials, I think I mentioned, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but XME was one that was doing well. And if you open up this related items, you got steel in here, you have copper, FCX is the actual stock for the copper, Alcoa, which is aluminum. So these ones are in a decent place to enter because they have, just started to pop up, and other ones are a bit extended. So, all right, guys, hope you like that, and we'll talk to you in the next video.